Yeah, it's a challenging period for the club. But if I'm honest, we've got a really robust business model. And this has been worked on for the last 3 years. This is not a fluke. This is something that we've worked on. And I think we're really reliant on that resilience that we've had as a result of building up that business model, and the strength that we had across our different financial pillars, whether it be club controlled income, player trading, whether it be about broadcast, was in a seriously strong position before COVID, and then we all know what happened.
You can clearly see from the difference in revenue from the two periods that being in the Premier League is a massive impact on the broadcasting income. But what we're able to show is that going up and down between the Premier League, our model allows us to do that, and I think that's something that we always try to make sure that we're looking for, is that when the eventuality that we may go down or we may stay up is something that we don't want to sort of just gamble with. We want to make sure that the club's always going to sort of be able to cope with the loss of that sort of income in the Premier League.
But I have to admit, the work once again done by on the sporting side to ensure that our contracts mirror the leagues in which we are in is very important for the model of the football club. It's something that we are reliant on once again as a self-financed club. So that's our way. Other clubs have different ways of doing it, but that's our way, and we've been relatively successful. I think the most important thing is that we have a competitive team on the pitch and an enthused kind of proactive team off it to ensure that they're doing their jobs as well.
I joined the club back in July, and I walked into some really good sort of fantastic forecasting models which allow us to flex and sort of change depending on what the government guidance is at the time, and we can really sort of change that on a daily stroke hourly basis if we need to, depending on what the announcements are. So some really good work gone in behind the scenes, and it just continues to do so now, and there's a lot of work and a lot of stress sort of testing on sort of financial reporting and making sure that we're in a good position going forward as well.
Well, Delia and Michael are the heartbeat of it, so they're the ones that lead on that effectively, that self-financed element of it. They want the club to be run that way. I think everyone has shared responsibility, but let's make this very, very clear. We're very fortunate to have a thriving academy that is producing talent, and will continue to produce that pathway and that development piece for players to be able to be given the opportunity to play on our pitch here at Carrow Road and for Norwich City Football Club. That coupled with our very, very clear focus on trying to grow revenues as much as we possibly can, despite the pandemic, be as efficient as we can. All of these things make up effectively a self-financed club, and quite a competitive one on the pitch. And like I say, off the pitch, we've got to do everything we can to mitigate the COVID effect.
The procedures that the auditors went through on going concern and looking at that 12 months forward from signing the accounts, and a lot of scenario planning has gone into that, a lot of stress testing on our forecasts and different permutations of what could happen. And I think the outcome is very positive from that the auditors agree that there's, under reasonable forecasts and reasonable scenarios, the club will continue to trade and be here for the next 12 months and can sort of take us through to next summer.
We're already planning on ways in which we can plug the gap, but the gap is vast here. We're talking about, in this financial period, over £12 million. That's potentially doubled, and still we will incur greater costs as a result of COVID. So this will not go away. This will be here for a long period of time and will affect everything that we're doing at this football club. What we've got to do is we've got to tackle it robustly and come out the other side.